Let's get to the starts and sits, Fabs. Starting with the quarterbacks. Who are we starting?
We are starting, well, Kyler Murray. Bit of a disappointment. Was held to fewer than 15 points against Detroit. I really liked him. I thought he would be better. But now he's got the Commanders. I mean, listen, Lindsay Rhodes is playing against the Commanders. I'm starting her at quarterback. They're
I wouldn't
awful.
do that.
You may throw for 250 and 2. You may surprise yourself. I have Kyler Murray as my QB2 this week. Tells you how much I like him.
Yeah.
So some folks who maybe wanted some validation after last week was not great, start him. And then Joe Burrow against the Panthers had a very good game last week. We saw that. It was a great game against Washington, scoring over 25 points in that game. He's thrown 5 touchdowns and no picks in his last 2 games. He's got T. Higgins back. Panthers have allowed the 8th most fantasy points to quarterbacks this season. So Joe Burrow is back in my top 10.
All right. Who's not? Who's sitting?
One you're
This
gonna
is not
agree
just
with.
a faller in the rankings. We're literally thinking about putting this person on the bench. Who is it?
And one you're going to be mad at. Anthony Richardson. And he's been brutal the last 2 weeks. 15 combined fantasy points. He's not running the football. He's not making good decisions. He's had 6 interceptions in his first 3 games. The Steelers have allowed the fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks this season, so their defense is legit. We know that. So Richardson's a risk this week. And I think Sam Darnold's a risk too. And I have been getting questions about Sam Darnold on X. I mean, listen, he's not Brett Favre all of a sudden. I mean, like, he's had a couple of good games in a row. Great. He's not a must-start quarterback. He's not a must-start quarterback. Listen, he's been good. The last 2 games, he's averaging 21.6 points. And I hope he continues to do it because I have Justin Jefferson and eventually TJ Hawkins and all over the place. But Green Bay's averaged fewer than 14 points per game to quarterbacks this season. It's a home game for the Cheeseheads at Lambeau Field. So I would just say that Sam Darnold, obviously a starter in Superflex, but if you're in a 1 quarterback league, I would temper your expectations.